Hey, it's the quota episode for December.
Cue the fireworks.
Yeah, there's the ding. I guess I should silence my watch as we begin on this Friday night, December 29th, 2023. The almost, what is it, the third last day of 2023? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Almost there. So we couldn't really come up with too many ideas. Well, actually, we did. It's just, I couldn't think of a way to organize whatever we wanted to talk about, so we just decided to just do this as a space heater. The quota episode. Episode 87 will wait until the new year. Plus, I guess we're just enjoying the holidays or having working holidays, as the case may be. You take a guess as to who's enjoying what between James and Amy there. But Mo and Kevin are here. Decided to join me around the table tonight.
It really does depend on whether or not we want to cover more news or not. That's really it.
Yeah, it's just how much of it will be anime related, right? And that's always the purpose of whenever I do a space heater chat. It's not totally anime related, but it's a subject matter that might be of interest to the fandom. It kind of overlaps, kind of. Maybe not always.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's in the title.
Yeah, we're just chatting. Okay, so how many weeks has it been since we did the chat about Boy and the Heron? Or how do you
live?
Yes.
How do you live?
Well, we're going to take shots every time Kevin puts it in those terms. It's been a couple weeks. So, Mo, I know, has not heard the episode because of all the spoilers.
No, I have not. I do not like spoilers.
Okay. So, what do you want to ask us now? We'll try not to blow anything, but
I mean, is it his best work?
No.
Okay, that's Kevin's opinion is no. Mine is it feels like an ending. I'm going to throw in another opinion, and this one belongs to my youngest sister, who mentioned to me she saw the dub a couple weeks ago, or not too long ago, and she just simply said she thinks it is his best because the way she puts it, it took a lot of what she loved about Miyazaki films, took bits and pieces of the films she loved and the things she loved about them, and kind of rolled it into here. Although it was like a brief conversation about it during Christmas dinner, so I wish I could have picked her brain on that just a little more. And I'm in many ways the guy who started to expose her to anime many years ago. So and I showed her anime when she was a grade schooler, basically. Many, many, many years ago. So she's grown an appreciation, a decades-long appreciation for this stuff. And truth be told, she's seen probably more Miyazaki than I have to this point. She certainly could retain and remember it. So but I do want to at least pick her brain as to understanding why she really liked it. And we'll go from there. Okay. You right there, Kevin?
Yeah, I think his best Ghibli work is the first thing that comes to my mind is Princess Mononoke. I was like, oh, what's the first one that I think was really good? And that's the one that came to mind first.
I mean, for me, it's... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if we were excluding Ghibli, if we're including everything else, I actually like Cagliostro a little more.
Okay. No, Cagliostro was fun, yeah. Well,
I mean, I was just gonna say, Totoro, bro. That's the one.
Totoro, yeah. I mean, I think the ones that gave him the mainstream, basically the stuff in the last 20 years that were as close to mainstream, if not there, as possible. And then there's before that. I always say maybe we have to kind of line it up pre-Mononoke and post-Mononoke. Because to me, and I said this a couple weeks ago.
You mean pre-Spirited Away and post-Spirited Away?
Well, that was somewhere along those lines. It's just like I go with the Mononoke one because that was the one that got. I always said this. This is the one that got the international attention, the initial international attention. Then,
because for me, it's because he won the Oscar for Spirited Away, so that was Ghibli at its absolute peak, and then it's kind of descended bit by bit in terms of movie quality from there on out.
Okay,
from him.
From the reference point. See, we can't even totally agree on reference point, but that's a beautiful part of the discussion.
Arguably the whole studio too, but I think Princess Kaguya is fantastic, so can't say every Ghibli movie is bad after Spirited Away. Or not, I can't say they were all bad, it's just they're just not the same.
Well, especially since a few of them were directed by Goro.
Yeah, well, Goro made one good movie, and that's From Up on Poppy Hill.
Yeah. Anyway, that's some of the summary of the thoughts. Now go watch the dub, Mo.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was in the dub for that.
Christian Bale, Florence Pugh, William Dafoe.
I think Robert Pattinson is in the dub.
Chan. A lot of people are in the dub. The dub has an awesome dub cast.
Robert Pattinson's in the dub, right?
Yeah.
Dave Bautista too. Dave Bautista. That's the one that sticks out to me. Like on the topic of, excuse me for a second. On the topic of Jason Momoa, since Bautista and Momoa starred in C, in the second season of C together. But it was interesting because, like, I took interest in seeing Bautista's name come up because I read an article about how he's looking at himself post pro wrestling career and how he wants to be taken more and more seriously as an actor, right? And by his own admission, he knows that he could do those action blockbusters, go the route that The Rock has taken, Dwayne Johnson, or maybe to a lesser extent, John Cena. But he really, really is taking care of his craft. He wants to really improve his craft. So he's taking on more artsy roles. Probably at the cost of a big payday, but he seems more at peace with it. And the money he's making, and this is acknowledged in the article, he went broke in the first time he was done in pro wrestling because there was that lull. He's comfortable now and lives fine now. So in many respects, he doesn't need that type of money because he has as much as he wants now. He sounded like really more of a Renaissance guy. At least, mind you, these type of articles, and I forgot if it was where it was. I'm trying to remember. Was it Vanity Fair or something? I forgot where the article was. Maybe I'll put that in the links. But he just came across as a very cultured in the good sense, right? But he just got a little bit more interesting to me in that sense. Anyway, where were we? Well, okay. So does anybody know The Boy and the Heron still in theaters? Where in the Toronto area?
I think there's a few spots they're still playing at. Plus, all the independents are still showing it. And Carlton's does the dub still. Review's gonna have a couple of screenings in a couple of weeks. Fox Theater on the east side, if you guys some beaches and so forth, they got a screening there too. It's still playing, man. I'm it's number one at the box office. It's out there.
So yeah, take a day, take some time. Yeah, maybe maybe we'll take a day. I think it'll probably be in theaters for a little while longer, maybe a couple more weeks, I would imagine. So there's that. But where else do you want to go? Where else do you want to go tonight? Mo, did you check out either? Oh, Netflix watching. Okay, we're going to talk. I do want to bring up streaming services a little bit later on, but finally finished Cyberpunk Edgerunner in the last hour. You want me to make a comment about it? Or because I made the comment to you, Mo, just before we hit the record button. Do you think that's a spoiler or not?
The finale, I feel like it's been several years now, at least, I don't know. Kevin, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Well,
I defer to Kevin then.
Okay, do you want me to make this statement? It may sound a bit like a spoiler or not.
I probably won't remember, so go ahead.
Okay. Cyberpunk Edgerunner pretty much serves as a prequel to Cyberpunk 2077, right? It takes place in the events before the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the ending to me had a Rogue One feel to it. And maybe I'll just leave it at that. Because the thing was, remember, I kind of spaced out all the episodes over the last year plus before I actually finished it. So maybe it's worth another watch through at some point. So, because my memories of the earlier episodes, of particulars in the early episodes, are blurry now at best. But I came away watching that last episode with a Rogue One feel to it. Is that a good way to put it, Mo?
I mean, yeah, that seems like a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you know what's gonna happen, because it is a prequel, but it's a satisfying ending. That's what Rogue One had going for it, right? It had a lot of good, characters and plot points and stuff, and quasi real stakes that made you feel like things were actually happening, even though ultimately speaking,
you know
how it's going to end. Yeah,
yeah.
Cyberpunk
was similar. So Cyberpunk had a similar feel to it, right? And this is coming from somebody who's considering playing the game.
Oh, you should definitely play the game. I mean, you got PS5,
remind me.
Well,
it's on sale. At least the original, the base game, Phantom Liberty. That's the DLC, right? That's the add-on that came out a few months ago, right? That's separate.
I think so.
Yeah. But there you go. There's my thoughts on it, on Cyberpunk. Where else do you want to go tonight? Okay.
Oh, before I forget, maybe this is going to be at the end, and I'm probably jumping the gun here, but is there a community calendar stuff happening?
I can't think of anything. Wow, that might be perfect for episode 87 when we finally get around to it.
Keep everyone intrigued. Tune in next time for community.
Maybe next time. No. I mean, we'll probably give it more of a try. Okay. Well,
actually,
something came up already.
Apparently, Tokyo Godfather is screening in some theaters.
Oh, really?
I can confirm that it is. Carlton has it, $5.
Okay, cool.
It's also playing in a few cineplexes actually.
True, but I think I think it's all subbed, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they
Something
already
like-
happened actually.
Oh, did we miss it? Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it already happened. It was they started on December 11th, so I don't know if it's still going, but I can't imagine it to be still up by now.
Well, double check. Double check.
I finally watched the film a few days ago because I watched it through a private Discord server through one of the VTubers I started watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she did a Satoshi Kon marathon. So no memories, so no magnetic rose, but basically everything else.
So Perfect Blue would have been
So
there.
yeah, she went. She basically went chronological, except for Tokyo Godfathers, which she purposely saved for last because it's Christmas, or was Christmas as of this recording.
Yeah. Yeah, it works. That works.
Finally watched it because that was the big hole in my
just like Perfect
movie viewing experience. No. Actually, I still haven't watched Magnetic Rose yet, but from his commercially viable films, I would say, that was the last one.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? I don't remember it well, so
thumbs fucking up. Oh, so fun! Such a fun movie.
Oh, there you go.
Love it.
Okay.
I think that's number 2 now for me.
Number 2 for among his films?
Among the 4 films plus Paranoia Agent, yeah.
So what's number 1?
Oh, Millennium Actress. Easy.
Good one, actually. Okay. There's this constant discussion about what movies are Christmas movies. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is Tokyo Godfathers a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I'd say so. I kind of there, but it happens during Christmas, so.
And that's all you need. All you need.
Mind you, we say that about Die Hard too.
Anyway. I'm okay with calling Die Hard a Christmas movie. It's like, what does it really matter in the end?
No, yeah. Well, it's considered one of the great action movies anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back. Let's pull back on the Netflix stuff because Mo brought this up when we talked earlier. Yu Yu Hakusho, have you seen the live action? Either of you? Well, Kevin, have you seen it? I know Mo has.
I have not.
Mo?
Dude.
What was your opinion of it? I haven't seen it yet either, so.
I have only seen the first episode. It is not bad. I like the costumes, but the problem is I haven't seen the original in such a long time, and even then I didn't watch all of it. It's hard for me to remember how it started, who the main characters were. I remember the core characters, and I guess the live action representations they're not bad. They're okay. But it's the first episode. I quite enjoyed it. The CGI, on the other hand, that's they tried.
And all be one piece.
Exactly. We can't all have tens of millions of dollars.
I never watched the anime, so I've only read the manga for Yu Yu Hakusho.
Well, then you have.
You know what's up. How did it start?
Well, it starts with Yusuke being a thug, and then because it was back in the early 90s, so you still had a lot of those
hooligans,
high school gang,
like GTO
kind of thing, and then he actually gets the synopsis is that he gets hit by a car saving a child.
Exactly.
But then the Demon King Enma, I think his name is.
Okay, so quick question: is that the baby?
Isn't the baby Koenma?
Who's the one with the pacifier?
That's Koenma, isn't it? Or let me double check this. I thought it was Koenma, and then his dad is the actual demon lord or whatever.
Oh, that might be a spoiler.
Well, now.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure that was Koenma. Yeah, Koenma is the baby. Well, that's one of his forms, but yeah.
Okay.
I'll actually remember his name correctly. And then Botan is there too. And in order for him to possibly get revived, he gets one chance by becoming the spirit detective, as they call it in the English dub and in the manga. And so that's how it kind of starts, with like the ghost of the chapter, the ghost of the day kind of thing, and then eventually escalates from there as they introduce what are their names? The two hot guys that everyone likes.
Rosewhip, right?
Can't say I know it, so.
What are their names?
One of them has a rosewhip, and the other one has
yeah, another
eye
one's
patch,
short.
headband, third eye.
Yeah.
There you go.
What is Kie? Oh, it's Kie and Kurama, if I remember correctly.
True. And then there's his rival, the dude with the blonde hair, was the fire stick.
Yeah, his rival in the same high school, I think, was what's his name? He's the ugly one.
Well, that narrows it.
I will say the live action depiction of the high school scenes seemed really I don't know. It's very hard for me to like gauge.
Oh, it's Kazuma. Yeah, Kazuma Kuwabara.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fire stick, man.
People always just say his last name. People don't really say his first name much. It's kind of like with Katsuya Jonochi in Yu-Gi-Oh!, otherwise known as Joey Wheeler. People always just call him Jonochi. Oh, that's his last name, though. His first name is Katsuya. Or same with Bakura. First name is Ryo, but everyone just calls him Bakura. And then even in English dub, they just call him Bakura.
Oh, boy. Anyway. Well, as I said, I don't have a reference point myself. You have at least have the manga, Kevin.
Oh, that's so that you never did read or watch that. Interesting. So that's just like a hole in the experience.
Well, I have a lot of holes in the experience, right? And I think I don't know. Remember, I've never up until watching the first couple episodes of the live action, I never really watched One Piece. The Bleach movie, same thing.
Because honestly,
I never watched Bleach. I never watched Bleach anime.
Mo. Remember, Mike is old enough that those would have just been too immature for him. And I'm not even saying that as in jest. That's like a legit, those just wouldn't have possibly caught your interest as much as it could have for us who are younger.
Well, it could be a younger generation type thing. And I am an old taku in many respects now. So there isn't it isn't meant to be in it.
That's why for you, Mike, you liking Kenshin makes sense. You liking Kimagure Orange Road makes sense. You liking Mizoni Koku makes sense.
Ranma.
And especially Ranma. See, I never watched Ranma.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't read it either. I just never got around to it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to read it flipped.
Oh yeah, that yeah. Well, Urusei Yatsura would be pushing it.
Yeah,
because then I think I could be going into yet another generation.
You would have seeked that one out more so than Ranma, yeah.
Yeah, well, I would have. The thing is that Ranma was more likely because that's a little bit closer.
Yeah, it was more recent at the time. Yeah,
yeah, it was more recent at the time. Yet Urusei Yatsura is the oldest of those.
Like what else was out in those early mid 90s? Like Nadia, Macross, yeah.
Well, I mean that's an 80s thing, right?
Well, wasn't it it would have been Macross 7 for you.
Well, which I never got exposed to, but the original series, albeit in the Robotech form.
Oh yeah, because that's just would have already been deemed classic by then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sailor Moon was then.
Yes, on the topic of Yu Yu Hakusho, Togashi and Takeuchi, right?
Yeah.
So Sailor Moon would have been back then, strangely enough. And for reference, I'm pretty sure the Yu Yu Hakusho live action will probably be less cheesy than the Sailor Moon live action, which is now 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There was a cast. I did see a photo of a cast reunion, by the way. So,
I understand.
Yeah, the actresses that there was a recent photo of them getting together.
Oh,
That was pretty cool. Anyway, there's that, and I guess maybe who's the biggest Yu Yu Hakusho fan amongst the five of us? Is it Amy? Can we think it's Amy, or we'll just have to ask her next year?
Maybe James.
Maybe James.
I don't claim to be a big Yu Yu Hakusho fan, to be honest. I read it, enjoyed it, but I don't claim to be a fan of it.
At least who would have the best knowledge of it, right? So, yeah. So I get the feeling it'll be a topic we'll revisit anyway. Another topic I think we'll revisit. Did you watch, Mo, have you watched the Scott Pilgrim animated series?
Only the first episode.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just didn't.
That one didn't click, did it?
Yeah. I
I'll
don't
have
know
to
why.
watch this. That
Kevin,
one.
you watched it?
No. The only anime I've watched this season from the new crop has been Firefighter Daigo of Company M, Rescue in Orange.
There you go. Okay.
And that's one more than in past years and seasons.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been too busy to really watch. I've been, however, like getting into things again for the last month or so. I think I've mentioned that to you guys.
Classic. That's the classic, like, non 15-year-old anime fan nowadays, where we don't even watch news. We just go back to the stuff that we enjoyed.
Yeah, I guess in some ways. I mean, I do try and keep some sort of open mind, and I am trying here. It's just maybe I'll end up watching something that I didn't see that was popular maybe 10 years ago, but discover it now. That was the case with, what was it? Oh, geez, it's Toradora.
Whereas for me, I've fallen several episodes behind on Firefighter because I've either been playing Pikmin 3 Deluxe or I've been just watching VTubers.
Well, in my case, I get it, because maybe I could have been watching a little bit more, but I'm getting reacquainted with playing video games again. Just trying to, like, after blowing myself up more than a few times playing Bomberman, I decided to pick up the two Yakuza games that I mentioned I played 3 years ago. So 0 and Kiwami 1.
Mm-hmm.
And just to get familiar again, just to play in free play and just get familiar with the control scheme again and see how much I could remember and how much I have to relearn, and see if I could, how much closer I could get to platinum. Short answer, the answer to that question is not that much closer. I'll have to beat the Amon characters to even get close. So there's a lot still to go, and plus I have to learn Mahjong. Mahjong was never my thing, especially in my family, because I made it a point never to learn the game because my
like we're talking real tiles and everything, or
yes. I mean that's a mini game. That's a mini game, and finishing off certain bits gets you closer to platinum and completion points in the game. And I made it a point never to learn this game because that's mandatory, or not mandatory, but it's a thing in my family household. So I made it a point never to learn the game because I would be dragged onto the table and subsequently lose my money. Mind you, the casino stuff, there's casino games, and I get those ones a little faster for reasons you guys already know. But I'm trying to get used to that, and then maybe I'll finally start playing Kiwami 2. Or maybe a Ratchet and Clank. But otherwise, I should have watched something, watched a little bit more, and I just have not gotten around to it. This is the sad part. This is the sad part for me. I went into my Crunchyroll account, and I have a small aside from that later, but or in a couple seconds later. But I looked at my watch list, what I've watched over the last little while, like my recent watches. It logged my, up until a few days ago, the most recent thing I had watched on Crunchyroll goes all the way back to the end of March, when I watched, well, funny enough, an episode of Kimigori Orange Road. And maybe Kaguya-sama. Which tells you how sad that is. The aside in all of this is that my subscription was up earlier this month, but I got a notice saying your credit card is out of date. So I did update it, but to this point, it hasn't been fully charged yet. It's been a couple weeks. I'm not saying anything else right now. I mean, who listening to this will actually take it seriously? You know? But who knows? Maybe I did after, just before the show, aside from watching the last episode of Edge Runner, I did watch another episode of my stepmom's daughter is my ex. Granted, it's been like 8 months in between episodes. Maybe I should try and finish the first season of that. Anyway. Okay, well, anything else you want me to bring up, or should we do that rant on the topic of Sony? Because we did mention at the end of the episode the whole bit about Sony losing the rights to Discovery shows, and that anybody who bought them on their service to lose them. But there has been an update to that, and apparently Sony and Warner Brothers, who now own Discovery, have come to an agreement. And anybody who bought Discovery shows through the Sony service or various Sony services won't stand to lose them. First of all, my line was always, how many people seriously did? I mean, this is like the conversation I had with Mo earlier, right?
You know, to elaborate on that, I was not aware that it was like Mythbusters and other like ginormous Discovery Channel shows that were going to be deleted. That might cause a bit of a ruckus.
So you think, yeah, well, Mythbusters, I guess, was the most noteworthy one. But how many?
They had like Cake Boss on here as well, and like a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Mm-hmm. I have to look this up because I know Sony does have a service, like a movie service and a streaming service of some sort. Sony Core Pictures, I believe it is. It's called Bravia Core, and it's part of the PlayStation service now. Thank you. And it's part of the PlayStation service. Like it's an app within PlayStation, and there's some interesting stuff there. Like we have to kind of go through. Apparently, this might be the entry point for, like, you can get a little bit of that. What is it? Like, apparently they've rolled it into PlayStation Plus, and you can get access to some movies for no extra charge, although it rotates. But apparently, Crunchyroll is also part of that deal. So you get some limited Crunchyroll shows now via your PlayStation Plus program or your membership. So maybe that. So we're starting to see a little bit of that integration, just a little bit, and maybe, hopefully, maybe more to come. Although one's got to think you'll have to pay for that too. But just a thought there. Okay. Okay, where do you want to go now? Where do you want to go for the next little bit? As I said, these are all things I know we can probably talk about it a little bit more at length, at least when we gather our thoughts. Anything else? Or do you want to just... What is this 3x3 generator thing? Kevin?
Oh, I linked it already.
I did open it up. So how does this work?
So, what you do is you click on any of the 9 boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and then a search box will then appear at the top, where you can then insert your anime of choice.
Okay.
So, for me, I will type Pokemon. I'll specifically do Pokemon Diamond and Pearl that season, because I think that is arguably one of the best seasons that have come out.
All right.
And then
we have to do visuals of this sometime in the new year. But,
and then you can adjust. So once you type in your selection, you can adjust where the image focuses on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just put it in. So once,
yeah,
and then you can just go on to the next. You can go on to the next one. Rinse and repeat.
Oh, and then you make 9. You just choose 9.
Yep.
Okay.
You can do this for anime, manga, or like characters from either.
And what's the game you want to play concerning this?
I just was thinking, it's not less of a game, more of an activity. That the first 9 things that come to mind, just put them on.
I see. I'll also have a little fun with this. Okay, I'll do the first 9 things, but one unfortunately has to stay away from this, right?
No, you can put in hentai if you want.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
You can pick hentai shows. Let's see.
No, we're not going. It's not hentai.
Kanojo.
No, that's not where I was going with that. That's not where I was going.
You can. Wait, is that there? Is hentai not allowed? Oh, there it is. There's kanji. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, if I wanted to do that, hentai is fair game too.
That's not it. That's not what I was thinking. It was
you did say that already. What were you thinking though?
Kenshin.
Probably
let me. This becomes more of an interesting exercise when I take out Kenshin for me. Actually, this actually becomes a really interesting exercise. So I'm actually up for it for that reason. Actually, now that you bring it up, or now that I've brought it up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because what I was thinking was, so you put in the first 9 shows that come to mind.
Yep.
And then we can say what they were, and then if you actually want to modify it to make it your 9 favorite titles, because maybe your number 8 favorite actually wasn't one of the first 9 that came to mind, then yeah, feel free to edit it out.
Okay. Well, this is the problem is this might take me forever, and we only our time.
You can't think of 9 shows off the top of your head.
Wait, hold on. Is it anything, or is it like
anime
anything?
Specifically?
Oh no, I know. There's a list. I'm looking at it now. So I gotta fill up all the boxes.
Well, no. Just think of the first 9 titles that come to your head.
Right, and then fill the boxes.
Yeah, and fill the boxes, and then later on we can actually, as in like shortly later, we can then actually adjust after we talk about it a little bit.
Chances are, a lot of what I'll end up bringing up is probably stuff I'd watched through the pandemic.
That's fine.
Right?
No problem with that. Just the first 9 things that come to mind.
Yeah, I'm going there, right? I'm giving those a shot. And chances are, and maybe it's a good way to start going at the end of the year, right? Because maybe like it's a nice way to reflect on as we begin the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. see. So, are you both doing this right now? I've
Yes, I
started
am.
doing mine.
I started doing this. Mo, have you started?
I have started. Yes.
You have started. Okay. Problem is now some of this is. Oh. Okay. Yeah, no, we're just having fun. And then we'll just try and match up some of our other stuff, right?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be in any particular order either.
No, it doesn't have to be in any. I figure it doesn't. But these are all, like as I said, these are all shows that we've brought up already. Like for me, it'll be stuff that I've brought up one time or another, right? But and in more or less a positive light.
Okay.
Right, like in a curiosity way. So
yeah, it can be TV shows, it can be TV anime, it can be movies, it can be OVAs, whatever you want. I'm at my number 6.
I'm at my number 9. Actually, I'm at my number 9.
I don't know why it's been kind of hard to think of like something off the top of my head. Oh yeah, this.
Okay, I got my 9. As I said, they've been stuff that we've brought up over time. So, okay, Mo, where are you?
8.
8. Okay, cool.
That's 7.
Okay.
Putting in my 7th one now.
Oh, we're listening. We know you're still thinking because we can hear your keyboard, by the way.
All right, what happens now?
I'll wait until I'm done. Oh man, why am I having?
Do you want me to start going through my list or either of our lists or?
Sure.
Because, as I said, I took, like, I wasn't upset that I shouldn't put Kenshin there. It would be on there, all things considering. I fully admit that, but it made it became more of an interesting exercise for the fact I didn't put it in there. Right? So it just became, that type of thing, right? Okay, so in my 9 shows, I'll start.
Sure.
Okay. So my 9 shows, and maybe none of them will surprise you because I've always brought them up. Kaguya-sama.
Okay, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Okay.
Yeah. Kimagure Orange Road. Mizane Kuku, which are two, which are easily in my top 5.
Yep.
Maybe top 3. I always said that. Tsuki ga Kirei.
What's that again?
Geez, what's the best way to explain that one? Maybe remind me to put a picture of it, I guess.
I'm trying to remember what the English. Oh, it's actually just called Tsuki ga Kirei. Oh.
Cowboy Bebop, Great Pretender, Beastars, Be the Beginning, and Your Name. Those are my 9.
Oh.
Right? Those are my 9.
So those are just the first 9 titles that came to your mind.
Yeah, in many respects, yes. But also ones that I've thoroughly enjoyed. I'll admit. Enjoyed one way or another. I mean, I haven't watched much of Beastars past the first season, but I read the whole manga through. From the library. Be the Beginning, I should eventually revisit. Cowboy Bebop is Cowboy Bebop, despite the live action.
Yeah.
Your Name is Your Name. And although, Weathering with You and Suzume, but it's Your Name for me right now. So those are where I am.
Oh.
Should I go now?
Yeah,
okay,
go
your
for
turn,
it.
Mo.
Okay, so in top left, we got ourselves My Hero Academia season 4.
Oh,
Cool.
specifically season 4.
You're being specific here. Way to go.
I typed in My Hero Academia, and then it was like, do you mean season 1, 2, 3, 4? I'm like, oh, I could choose like individual. So I'm like, yeah, season 4.
They were technically different TV series, yeah.
Yep. And then right next to that, you got the My Hero Academia World Hero Mission movie, the third movie in the series.
Okay.
Cool.
Next to that, you got Bleach. Below that, you got Attack on Titan. Next to that, you got Death Note. Next to that, you got Cowboy Bebop. Below that, you got Chainsaw Man, which is next to Spy Family, which is next to Odd Taxi.
Oh.
I think the only show that we had in common was Cowboy Bebop.
Nice.
But Spy Family has my... Spy Family is... I got to start watching that. Everyone's talking about that.
Oh yeah, it's really well. I mean, it won that award, right?
Won a lot of awards. So yeah, okay. I think part of this game is what do we have? What will match? This is a match game, I guess.
Well, not really a match thing. It's just why would you put these on? Or like, how come these things came to your mind first?
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Well, let's go through yours, and then maybe I'll go through the thinking. Right?
Okay, sure. So I have. Let's see. Where did the window go? There it is. Top left is Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, that season of Pokemon. Then Please Teacher.
Cool.
And then top right, Witch Hunter Robin.
Really?
Yep.
There's a title I haven't heard in a while. I like it too.
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my enduring favorite shows.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
And it was the show that I think that was the show I feel one of like the 2 or 3 shows that made me a fan of anime. Because Pokemon, yes, I still have Pokemon, but I wouldn't have considered myself an anime fan watching Pokemon.
The hook, line, and sinker shows, right?
Yeah. Those would have been Please Teacher and Witch Hunter Robin and Love Hina, which actually did not include in this 3x3.
There you go. Okay.
4, so center left is Code Geass, Lelouch the Rebellion, Season 1. Fantastic show. Center is Prison School. Because I needed one horny thing in there, and it is that season was that TV series was so memorable.
Wait, hold on, I misheard that. Did you say what did you say? Something school?
Prison School.
Okay. See, I heard another kind of school there. Sorry.
What, School Days or?
Yeah, that's what you said. You know, it's all good.
Center right is Razafon.
Oh,
there you go. That's some classic right there.
There you go. Way to go, Kevin.
And then bottom left is Wolf's Rain.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Bottom center is Promare.
Nice movie.
I was like, oh yeah, I should include 1 or 2 movies was my train of thought. And bottom right is Redline.
Okay.
And now that I think about it, for some reason, I don't know what happened in my line of thinking. I actually was supposed to have Space Battleship Yamato 2199 on here, but for some reason, it
escaped you.
It just, like, I actually had thought of it and I was typing it in and everything, but for whatever reason, I think when I looked up, like, the next, I think I was looking at, like, Code Geass or Prison School, and I forgot to select the next box, so I accidentally erased it, and then it just didn't occur to me to change it back. So I actually would have technically taken out Redline for Yamato, but we'll leave it as is.
So, what was the methodology for all of us as we chose these titles? They just popped to mind?
More or less.
Yeah, for me, it was just like, at first, My Hero Academia, top and center. New season coming out this April or spring, summer-ish, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
that was top of mind.
Season.
dude, like they're finally coming to America.
Did the big event happen in the last
No,
season? I don't remember.
not yet.
'Cause I don't know if you're reading it or not. That's why.
Oh no, I'm not reading it, but I do know what you're talking about, and that has not. We're not even close. Like there's the difference between the manga and the show is several arcs.
I'll say that there was a huge fight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So for that's part of your thinking.
And then after that, it was just like mixture of old and new type situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Kevin.
Cowboy Bebop obviously being front and center because of Netflix. I'm telling you, man, we're gonna get that second season. It's gonna be all AI generated, and we're not gonna be able to stop it.
It might be better written, according to some.
Oh, that deserves a drum roll right there, man. Rim shot right there, man.
Kevin, so what was your methodology, or what came to mind as you wrote these down? Like, what made you choose these titles?
For me, it was I was like, okay, what are the titles that were memorable to me and / are my favorites? And I knew I wasn't gonna think of the top 9. I knew there'd always be 1 or 2 or 3 that just escape my mind at the moment, or just misclicks like Yamato not being included.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest, there'd be 1 or 2 things that did come to mind, but I was like, would I put this in a 3x3? No, so I didn't. So then, because like I actually thought of Gundam Build Fighters Try, and that's only because I have watched some of that in the last 3 months. But I was like, I wouldn't put that in my top 3 or top 9.
I mean that's another difficult part. The difference between like the best versus stuff you just happen to watch.
Yeah. I put when I made my theory, I thought of like what are like the shows I like the most or the movies I like the most.
Okay.
That come to mind.
So my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
In my case, I was thinking about what my top 5 shows were, and when I came to the realization I shouldn't put one of them on it, and I started to think, and that's where I started to go when I mentioned Kimiko Orange Road and Maison Koku. I started to really think about the stuff I've watched over the last 3+ years, almost 4 now. Here we sit at the end of 2023. We are going almost 4 years into this pandemic, and so much has happened, and I've given myself time to watch so much in the first 2 years of this, but then I reflect on how little I've watched in the almost past 2 years, right? I just joked that I did not touch my Crunchyroll account since the spring, or seriously watched anything from my Crunchyroll account since the spring. So I guess I should try a little more. And yeah, that's sort of what the thinking was. So Kaguya-sama was on that list because I'm kind of a sucker for those type of shows. Tsukigakure, nice slice of life. Cowboy Bebop, yeah, that's been under discussion all those years. And then Netflix, what became classic Netflix anime like Great Pretender, Be the Beginning, Beastars. Although the next season, the continuation of Great Pretender, I don't think is going to be on Netflix. And then when it came to Your Name, yeah, I was tempted to put Suzume. But then I thought about what is the title for Makoto Shinkai right now? Or what would be the title? And for now, that's Your Name. So that's what went into the thinking of the 9 title I ultimately went with. It's a smorgasbord with thoughts, but I think it's more informed by the last 4 years, and maybe like what isn't on it is also informed by the last 5 or 6. So that's what went into the thinking, and thanks for doing this one, Kevin, because I thought that was just an interesting exercise. It's not necessarily a game. I didn't think of it as a game, just a way to think of things. almost a reflection, right? Looking back on the past for me. So, having looked back on the past, let's look ahead. We're in the last couple days of 2023. 2024 begins Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And on that topic, New Year's resolutions.
Oh, but I actually wanted to do one more thing. Sorry.
Do you want to? We won't go there just yet.
Well, I was gonna say now. If you want to make any modifications so that it is your top 9 shows, you can do that now.
I'm gonna keep this as is for me. I know you did you did one.
I will actually make a couple modifications now.
Okay.
Mo, did you want to do any modifications?
No, I'm good.
Okay, go for it, Kevin, because I know you like I stand by the titles that came up for the and I just explained why. So what about you?
So I need to put Space Battleship Yamato 2199 on here. So I would take out Razafon. And I need to put in Higurashi. Because there's always going to be one thing where I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I didn't add that in, and this time it was Higurashi.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do I take out Wolf's Rain for that?
And what's the other title?
I took out Razafon for Space Battleship Yamato 2199, and then I will take out Wolf's Rain for Higurashi. Higurashi When They Cry Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will actually take out Promare for Millennium Actress.
On the topic of Satoshi Kon.
And I don't know if I would have replaced Redline for anything else. I think I will leave Redline as is. Okay.
We should ask James and hopefully James and Amy hear this, and I guess listeners out there we'll eventually put a link. I have to update everything.
See, my like, well, no, I'm not that old, but definitely my age shows, because I think there are only 2 shows on this list after like 2014.
That's okay.
And nothing within the past 5 years or 6.
Okay. No, I have a habit of discovering things after they've done their initial runs myself. So
yeah, because I know I don't watch a lot of new anime anymore. And there's so much good stuff out. Like, Mo has Odd Taxi on his list. That's something I'd be more inclined to watch.
It's crippling, paralyzing anxiety knowing there's that much good stuff.
That's a good way to put it.
Or what's the newest thing on your list, Mike?
The most recent thing on mine? Tsukigakure is a couple years back. Beastars is still going. I mean, they're gonna do the final season this year. That'll cover the final arc.
Oh,
and Great Pretender continues, and Kaguya-sama. Those are probably the three most recent. I don't know where Be the Beginning really sits in its plot at the moment.
That was newish, yeah.
That's newish.
That's within 5 years.
I would say there's like of the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say, Tsukigakure I think is the oldest of those 5. But that would have been just outside of 5 years, I think. Don't quote me. I would have to double check.
Yeah, my oldest one is Millennium Actress.
Sorry?
My oldest title was Millennium Actress.
Good movie, though.
Fantastic movie. I watched it again during that marathon on that Discord group, and I tear up every time at the climax of the film.
It's a good movie. I have nothing else. Like, you make me want to watch it again. I would have to. It was a great movie. Okay. As I said, we should ask Amy and James to do this exercise, and then we'll ask the listeners, and we'll put a link at some point. Okay, on the topic of New Year's resolutions, any that would be in our fandom related? I have a bunch. I have some outside of it, but I'll go for that in it. But I'll go with the ones that are within the fandom. Anything related to anime, manga, video games that you guys want to express you'd like to do in the coming year?
I guess the first thing that came to
or
mind.
Are you guys the type? Or are you guys the type to break them at 12:01?
12:01. I'm a 12:01 breaker.
Yeah. Kevin?
I don't normally make resolutions, but one thing that came to mind, or the first thing that came to mind, was that I want to finally buy the Mizuho Kazumi freeing quarter scale figure that I've wanted for the past 18 years.
Wow.
Damn.
The issue is that figure can be very expensive.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't want to pay like 70,000 yen for it, because fuck that shit. I don't need it badly enough to pay that much.
Excuse me.
Like,
I really like that
super
figure.
Nice case for that or something, like some kind of display with like lights and shit.
It'll be glass, it'll be encased. Make sure you keep it dust free.
Ooh, on one of those rotating display things that is motorized and it spins.
I don't think I could do that, but it's just like, I think even back then, when I found out about that figure, it was already out of print, I think. At least it kind of feels that way to me. So then it's really a matter of trying to catch it at a good price, which sometimes you can, but then like I don't actively search for it often. So the odd time I've seen it for a good price, it was already long gone, or at least a price I was willing to accept. Because I probably wouldn't want to spend more than 40,000 yen for it.
There you go. Fair enough. Okay. So that's your big resolution?
That's like probably my only actual resolution, because I want that to be the first scale figure I own.
Ah, okay.
That's why.
You know, now that you made me think about it, since I don't have the Full Metal Panic Omnibus Collection 1 to 3, like the first volume of that had volumes 1 to 3. Maybe I guess that's one of my resolutions, to eventually chase that down.
Well,
although I know
what you do, Mike, is you, because I think 3 and 4 are still available.
Mm-hmm.
I think 1 and 2 are out of print at the moment.
I got 2, but
yeah. So then you buy 3, 4, and like something else of a comparable price. You order that online now, and then when the manga sale rolls around in January, as the rumor is supposedly the case, you then go to your closest Indigo or chapters and you get the price adjusted.
Wait, for real?
This I gotta hear later.
This is what I've done in the past with the hardcover sale. That happens every Boxing Day. I didn't do it this year. I kind of just fell behind. It just slipped my mind too much. So what I usually do is I buy the hardcovers I want like a month in advance, or like 2-3 weeks in advance, depending on how long it will take to ship. Because usually they would need to get it from their distributors.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't always have it in the warehouse. And then come Boxing Day or like Boxing Week, when that sale goes on, I get all the hardcovers price adjusted. Usually Indigo is willing to do that. they might not always do it. Sometimes it depends on the person, but
Who knows?
yeah, it's half the time it's really no skin off their back to do that.
Sure.
Because they're not
if you
paid
get
enough
like a
for it.
friendly individual who doesn't mind processing it.
Yeah, and also like when I do like buy two get one free, I usually strategize my purchases so that everything I buy is roughly the same price range. Because if you buy a mix of everything, let's say you buy like 4 $13 books and then like 2 $25 books, and you buy like 3 $20 books, they're gonna just give you all the cheapest ones free because that's how it would work.
That you've always talked about order splitting and all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually had someone at an Indigo when I went to also price adjust during a sale like that was nice enough to just let me do those separate orders.
Cool. Oh, I wish we can go into more detail. Oh, but there's one.
You know what? Heather has enough money. I'm sorry.
Well, she's back. Yeah.
Heather has enough money. She's not going to miss like $20 from me.
It runs in the family. Check out her husband too. Okay.
Oh yeah. He's the guy that like has the other business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they're
what's his name?
Yeah. But I know. So there's one resolution. The other is get a little bit more familiar with, play a couple more games. So we'll
not hard.
cover that. That's not hard. And hopefully watch something from my Crunchyroll stuff.
But it's a resolution all the same.
Yeah, it's a resolution all the same. The big one, and it relates to here, be a little bit more visible. The plan now is to start doing some sort of live streaming in the new year. And Mo and I, Mo was here when I was testing out at least playing remote play on StreamYard. It worked to some degree. So we'll start with something. Yeah, Kevin, we talked about me adding equipment to do more of a streaming setup.
Well, now's a good time.
Yeah, sure, it's Boxing Week, but I'm not totally sure we'll get anywhere there. Like what, a monitor? Haven't really given it too much thought. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more off the air. I know there's some cheap monitors, but I'm not totally sure I could go there just yet. But I have something to work on.
It's because you have a laptop. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
that's
if you have a desktop,
a lot easier with a desktop.
I don't have a desktop computer, just a laptop, right? Anyway, just give it a thought, and I can show you what it ends up looking like. It looked okay. I played a couple minutes of Yakuza Kiwami for Mo through.
Because if you had a desktop, you probably would have wanted that second monitor already, just for efficiency's sake.
Yeah, it would be. So something to think about. So we'll start doing some live streams, doing more video versions of this show next year. Get some cameras, guys. Get a webcam. Get used to doing the webcams or something.
Oh, I was finally able to figure out my webcam.
Okay.
This year, it's just that it's an old webcam, not like a great one nowadays.
It'll probably do. See, look,
I'm like an 8-year-old webcam at this point, I think.
Yeah. But I'm probably going to use the stock camera in my MacBook for a while anyway. So something to think about in the future. And maybe we can do live Space Eater chats and what have you. But yeah, we're going video next year. Try and be a little bit more visible. And hopefully I'll update all the socials in the meantime. Before we go tonight, I know we're running low on time. We're over an hour now. Before we go, I did want to bring up two other things on the topic of those who have left us. I didn't know Chen Kenichi died this past year.
Who is this man?
Iron Chef Chinese, the original Iron Chef Chinese. From the original series, Rori no Tetsujin. So he was the Chinese Iron Chef. Passed away of pneumonia, I believe, in March. I did not know he passed away. I know that would have been noteworthy. He was a TV star, and in many respects, his family, you can trace the mainstreaming of Chinese cuisine in Japan to his family. And Chen's son, I know, has kind of taken up the mantle. So, his father was the big one before, then him, and now his son, and he's very prevalent these days. Also, and this is related but not related, or not related, but it'll be related in a roundabout way. I saw an interview a couple weeks ago with Amy Yazbek. Who's Amy Yazbek, you ask? She's the widow of John Ritter. And she did an interview to commemorate 20 years since John Ritter passed away. I think it's been 20. Has it already been 20 years? Wow. But 20 years since John Ritter passed away, and what she's done to honor him in those past 20 years. She started the John Ritter Foundation to make people aware of the condition that eventually took her husband, which was aortic dissection. So she's dedicated her life in the last 20 years to make people aware of it, and hopefully they can prevent it from happening to them and to their loved ones. Why do I bring up Amy Yazbek? Why do I bring up John Ritter? Why do I bring up aortic dissection? It is the condition that took Kentaro Miura, the creator of Berserk. I think that's a great thing she's doing, and maybe just something to be aware of for yourself and for your loved ones in the future. But something to think about as we end 2023. Okay, well, that's two Space Heater chats in a row. I guess the final resolution for this year, going into 2024. We'll get to episode 100 in 2024. Oh. But before then, we have to do episode 87. Hopefully, James and Amy will be able to join us for that. But that's basically all we got for this evening. Don't forget our socials at Anime Roundtable. AnimeRoundtable@gmail.com if you want to email us, and hopefully we'll update it, animeroundtable.com, our blog and past episodes. That severely needs to be updated. And we're going to be on Twitch and YouTube a little bit more. So twitch.tv/animeroundtable and our YouTube account. And don't forget, as a podcast, give us a review wherever you get your podcasts if possible, because, a good review always helps.
You bet it does.
Yeah. What type of review, Kevin? I guess we'll use that gag.
Good ones.
Yeah.
Preferably amazing ones.
Yeah, preferably amazing ones. Others will eventually see it. But that's all we got for tonight. So thanks for listening. Yoyo Toshio Umukai Kudasai. As I always like to say, as we finish off before the new year. So
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Hopefully if you're listening, cross over safely, and we'll see you in 2024. Have a good night.